I think I might even start this the way I started another show, ladies and gentlemen. This is one of the coolest shows. DJ Mahf is in the building. He's an award-winning DJ and producer. I started going down the list of awards you got. I'm like, okay, we're going to put a separate page for it. You got so many awesome things you've done. You've been a staple in our community here for so long. Welcome to the Your Little Castle Show.
Thanks for having me, man. It's been a while.
DJ Mahf and DJ Mahf and I, we used to be on a little station back in the day for fun. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And kind of where we kind of learned our way to produce our own little stuff and do that. And I kind of went off in one direction. You stayed in that music realm. And really, let's try to say, if you look at the list of things that DJ Mahf has accomplished, #1 artist in DJ in St. Louis.
Oh, thanks.
7 times?
7 Riverfront Times Awards, yeah, for that, yeah.
7 times.
A couple other ones, St. Louis Magazine, Slum Fest Awards, a couple different things.
Well, and
St. Louis has been good to me, man.
Well, you got to do good work and you got to do it right. So I just shout out for that. The reason we reconnected was you were the DJ for the St. Louis City for their grand opening. I'm like, DJ Mahf is still doing well.
Yeah.
They've got to pick one DJ in St. Louis for the opening of their professional soccer team.
I turned around at opening game and this man was on stage with me hanging out.
Well, I stood off by the edge and I'm like, hey, DJ. He's like, come on.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
I was like, I'll give you a mic. You can plug whatever. It's cool.
That's how. Yeah, I knew we were buddies and all. I didn't expect you to do all that, but thank you. That was fun.
Oh, of course.
You were rocking the house. Thanks. The whole thing going on. I had another buddy of mine come over. I won't say. No, I will say. My friend Steve Ewing came over there and said hi.
Yeah.
And I told him, I said, hold on a minute. DJ Mahf's going to bring me up on the stage. And he's like, that's cool. And then he had to run off. So I tried to find him later. I'm like, oh, man, I told Steve Ewing to wait. I should have done that.
Oh, man.
Steve's such a good guy.
Steve's the homie, man. I love those guys.
He was on the show, and he was here a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
So talk about a story where you really the impact you get to have.
Oh man,
from a music perspective.
I had 2 older brothers growing up, and The Urge was a staple in the Mahf house. Like we had the cassette tapes. I did a couple of their Christmas shows at the pageant over the last couple of years, and they had me as the opening act. And I brought one of their old cassette tapes up in their dressing room, and they're all like, "How do you have that? We made like 100 of those in like the late '80s." I'm like, "I got older brothers, man." Well, told you guys I was a fan.
Lots of cool stuff. With that, we'll do the highlight of our community leaders that are our sponsors for our show, Carroll House Furniture, because you like nice things in your little castle, and that's what we want everybody to enjoy their castle. So you might as well get some nice furniture to that. Brooke, Amy, thanks you guys for continuing to support the show here. We're always trying to highlight those leaders in our community. And a lot of people do know I finally had a mortgage company say to me, Cowboy, you've done marketing so many years for so many different big mortgage companies. Can you come and help us? And I got my mortgage license. And then I switched to another company. And then I landed with USA Mortgage. I've been there for a year now.
Oh, nice.
This market is crazy, but these guys really know their stuff. And if you need to get refinanced or to buy a house, literally nobody better in St. Louis. If you look at the longevity and the rates and everything they do to make sure that your loan gets done. And Emily, there in the picture, Steve and Emily Flowers' team, Rob Schmersall was just here. He runs the office. He and I just the whole interview that's coming up here this week on TV. So with that, but then we get to the fun part. DJ Mahf in the house. I'm like, man, let's put up a couple pages for you. Oh, we got to put this page up. We got to put up that page. We got to put up another page. You do all kinds of fun stuff. I'm going to get to your...
A lot of projects, man.
Yeah, your main DJ.
I got my hands in a little bit of everything,
Lots of fun stuff you do in the community to really just enlighten people, bring some joy. And you're helping a lot of people produce and do a lot of fun stuff. You just a long myriad of stuff. Tell everybody what you're up to these days and what's going on in the world.
I've been traveling a little bit this summer. I've been on tour. My group, My Posse in Effect, has been on the road. I've been doing some solo stuff in and out of town. I hold down a bunch of different clubs and venues in St. Louis, as well as far as residencies where you can find me every weekend. I'm at the Midwestern a lot, downtown right next to Busch Stadium. Takashima Record Bar, spinning all vinyl. If you guys haven't checked that out, it's a really unique, beautiful place in the Grove. Sophie's Artist Lounge. Where else am I at? Platypus in the Grove, a couple new places. So you can kind of find me wherever. I'm always throwing events, DJing, making music. It's kind of my thing.
Well, I'm maybe throw you on the spot here a little bit, but I'm like, there's a lot of guys who are DJs. It's like a side thing for them. This is not a side thing for you. You've been doing this for so long. You make a good living. Doing this.
Yeah. I quit my job when I was 21 on my 21st birthday, and I've never had a gig since.
And he may look like he's 28 now.
Man.
But I know DJ Mahf is a little older than that. So that's a long period of time you've been doing this.
I've been blessed, man. It's been good.
That's cool. This is the connection. I will mention one of the cool experiences I had when working at the station there.
Yeah.
Remember when, just because this makes us both look cool, guess who was in the studio there? I think you interviewed him too. Run DMC.
Yeah.
And I got to interview him. Did you interview him?
Yes, I did. We did a on-camera interview, like an hour-long interview, and it was amazing for me because Run DMC, growing up, honestly, Yo MTV Raps was like the first time I saw a DJ scratching records. Jam Master Jay, rest in peace. And for me, that was such a full circle moment being able to interview DMC because that group, was one of the reasons I'm still doing what I'm doing right now. So it was a huge honor for me just to sit across from him and talk to him and pick his brain. And yeah, we got to do some really cool stuff at that radio station.
Hey, I'll just say, you guys, we've come a long way. We both interviewed. Well, this isn't like who is this? This is DMC.
Yeah.
I had a look
Rock and Roll Hall of
Famer. I just knew him as DMC. I looked at him as Daryl McDaniel.
Right. Yeah.
And I sat next to him in that studio. You got to do a whole video thing. We did a radio thing. I took some pictures and fun stuff.
Yeah.
It was just incredible to be able to interview, sit there with you.
Man,
and I said,
absolute living legend for sure.
And I'm fortunate to just kind of get to do the fun stuff that I do. And it's like, I just have a conversation with you. I wasn't too, oh my gosh. But I said, DMC, I got to show you something. I broke out my old Trio phone. That's how long ago this was.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
The Trio.
Yeah.
And I said, I've got my top 10 playlist right here. I'm not going to say which number, but it's in the top 10. It was like number 3.
Nice.
I said, it's tricky to rock around to rock around. It's right on time.
Classic.
And he's like, that's in your top 10, cowboy? I said, absolutely, man. And I said, and what that song means to me is life is tricky, life is tough. He goes, that's exactly what it's about. I'm like, wow, he got what I was talking about.
Man.
How cool is it?
That track still works, still kills it at the club. I still remix it and play with it.
I'm like, that song was back when I was in my 20s.
Oh,
it was
yeah.
like 6 years ago. Or more. And I just, they're still playing it. What's it like, man? I mean, you get to really like bring the positive energy to people. Tell me the life of a DJ a little bit.
It's a lot of late nights, obviously.
Sleep in a little bit.
But yeah, for me, I just love the fact that I get to curate a vibe in a room and really kind of grab people's attention and just have them just kind of zone out and enjoy their Friday, Saturday night, and kind of a little bit of escapism on their part where they can just enjoy themselves and party. But I also like to do like some, not just play songs. I love to do remixes, mashups, and a lot of scratching and like performance-based DJing to kind of show them like, I'm not just up here pressing a button and standing here. I'm really doing this on turntables. I'm still mixing live. I'm still doing it the old school way. That's a big thing for me to kind of, keep that tradition going as far as the art form and the craft goes. But yeah, man, I love it. It's one of the only things I've never fallen out of love with. I'm obsessed with music all day, night. I either want to be recording music, playing music, whatever, just anything. Like that's just how it is. So the fact that I can make a living doing that is pretty crazy,
Well, and I've studied the industry just a little bit, and there's essentially, you know DJ Fish?
Yeah.
He's out in this area a little bit.
Yeah.
He's done Grand Theft Auto, the voice. This is DJ Fish. He did my voiceover for one. This is the Cardinal Cowboy.
Oh, sweet. Yeah.
But I really got to learn about the industry, what it is. But it's, if you really analyze it, you're making $200, $300, $400, $500, $600, $1,000, $1,500 for a gig. You don't need too many of those gigs to make a living. And if you're good, that's the point though. You didn't make this just because you showed up one day with your little music box.
No.
You have to learn the craft. You have to learn the skills.
And I started when I was in high school in like the early 2000s, and it wasn't like as mainstream as it is now. So back then my friends were like, why are you buying old vinyl records? Why are you going to the record store all the time? Like they didn't get it at first. And then a little later on, I started doing house parties. Is how I first started performing in front of people. And they all were like, now we get it, man. This is awesome. This is great, And then that spawned into playing in bands, playing venues, getting DJ residencies in nightclubs and touring and the whole nine. So it's kind of funny. Like, just even when I started, the DJ world, the craft itself wasn't as, a household thing like it is now. That had a lot of that has to do with like the big EDM boom over the last 15 years or so too, the big festivals and what Vegas is doing and West Coast and everything. And it's crazy worldwide. It's a gigantic industry now.
Well, I'll put up on the wall, everybody, your Instagram and your Facebook.
Nice.
But tell everybody, I just was curious. Everybody talks about EDM. I finally Googled it. EDM, electric dance music.
Yeah, electronic dance music.
Electronic dance music is what that stands for. But it's literally that beat. I even studied this a little bit because I'm a weirdo. And I realized, why do people become so enthused or excited about music? And it's because it gives us that symbiance. It gives us that sense of things are structured and in order and beautiful, because life is so chaotic. It's not me saying that. This is Jordan Peterson, who's world renowned.
Oh yeah, I know.
Some people love him, some people hate him, but it gets into the whole like, here's the psychology of the way humans act and the reason they do.
Oh yeah,
and you really begin to understand why music is so important and why DJs make. Boy, there's some DJs that come around, and I mean, they're making these.
Oh yeah,
they're doing super mega stuff.
Incredible giant productions, light shows. It's on another level now. It's quite a thing to see. To be honest.
I mean, and I put you in that realm because you've literally you're opening events that are like, this is the St. Louis City's event, and you are the DJ there for that.
Yeah,
what's that like?
It's pretty amazing, man. The one that I really was proud of was I was the DJ for the St. Louis Blues for 4 seasons, and I got to do the 2020 Stanley Cup season. And that's something I'll never forget, man, because that was just on another level. It really was. Especially that, what was it, Game 6 of the Stanley Cup Finals. We were out of town, which is a shame because we lost that night, but we had the chance to secure the cup that night, and they didn't really tell me what I was going to do. They had me in that park next to Market Street, and they just had the stage set up, and I went there for sound checks. I'm like, who am I opening up for today? So I usually would open up for somebody, and they were like, oh no, you're the only music act today. And I'm like, for how long? And they're like, you have to play for 3.5 hours by yourself out here. I'm like, oh man, okay. I wasn't ready for that, and just had to get it done. And I got to play in front of 65,000 St. Louisans for 3 hours straight, set the tone for the party. They were rocking with me. They all had my back. It was beautiful, man. It was something I'll never forget.
That was a historic event.
As far as I can see, there's people that haven't seen me since grade school coming up and be like, dude, how are you? Like, really crazy. Like, just,
Well, that's just a lot of people dream of being a DJ. There's a number of different ways I could go with this discussion, because we love to, the whole concept of your little castle show, it's allow everybody to develop their own little world, their own little castle.
Oh, totally.
And that's not just your house. That's what you do for a living. That's who you hang out with. That's where you go, and the people you interact with. And now I'm going, because you and I worked together 2001, 3, 4, something like that.
Yeah, 05, I think, yeah.
And then on the station, and you had your show, I had my show. And literally, it's like we kind of knew each other, were still around in town, but we didn't cross paths. I'm like, keep in touch with your buddies, man. He did the Blues Stanley Cup stuff. That is an incredible event. I'll never forget. I was on a ship. First time I've ever gone on a cruise. I don't like taking vacations because too much work to do. But my mom was like, your dad's not in good shape. It's maybe, he's up in the baseball stadium in the sky now, but we got to spend some time with him, and I'm like, oh, well, the Blues will be out of the playoffs. I literally, earlier that game, side story, the Towelman's a buddy of mine, and I walked up to him. I happened to be at one game. I don't go to a lot of Blues games. My focus is Cardinals.
Sure.
And I went up to him and said, man, maybe next year get better, but feel the power just for a minute. I gave him knuckles.
The rings on.
I went to him, I'm like, hey, oh man, I went like this.
Got a few, man. Look at that.
And I'm like, and I go, stay with it. You keep doing it. He's been doing longer than me.
Oh, yeah.
Blues will come back. You always take the positive.
Oh, yeah.
From that point on, they turned the whole season around.
Yeah, they were animals that season. It was beautiful, yeah.
The Cardinal Cowboy pass. Coincidence?
You're just transferring energy, man. That's beautiful. Yeah.
It's just, that's the kind of fun stuff we get to do in our community. Yeah. And that's just a small bit of what I get to do. What you're doing is literally like lighting somebody. They've had a bad day. Now they're going, what am I going to do? I need to go somewhere to cut loose.
For sure.
And you're playing the music.
For sure. And I love that I have all these different projects because I get to do different, styles of music, different themes, different genres, different, just different vibes in general. And it kind of, for me, I never get bored because I'm doing different things every night. Like this Friday night, I might be playing this nightclub and I'm playing, top 40 music or dance music or whatever. The next night, I might have a show with one of my bands and I'm playing original music that I made. And it's just always something different. And that's why I love the path that I've kind of carved for myself where I don't really ever get sick of it. Because it doesn't become monotonous. It doesn't have a routine behind it. It's kind of just, I get to do a little bit of everything, dip my toe in a couple different worlds,
Well, you've done a lot of cool stuff. I'm like, where do I go next with this? Because I'm starting looking. I'm like, holy cow, you got a SoundCloud, Spotify. Let me put up for everybody. I believe as I sort through that, here's your.
Yeah, there you go.
This is your SoundCloud. You got a bunch of tracks, mixes that you've put out there that people can listen to for like 3 hours.
Yeah, some of them are hour long. Some of them are one song. Some of them they're kind of all over the place. Well, one of my blues mixes is still up there. The rest of them got taken down because of copyright reasons. SoundCloud's been cracking down on people using unlicensed material, which is, as a DJ, what we do.
Yeah, I mean, talk to me sometime. Maybe we'll have that discussion elsewhere because I don't know what do we say. We're not going to give any secrets, but it's a matter of people, you can play music, you can play it on social media.
Right.
How do you designate that? How do you deal with that?
Well, it's interesting because they're definitely using algorithms to crack down on a lot of that lately. I'm sure you've come
at an
across
event,
it.
you're like,
Yeah.
I didn't. That guy turned the camera on me. I wasn't trying to stream it live. He was.
And
it's just I'm playing the music at the event.
Part of that is also the music industry is scrambling on any way that they can make money off any artist or any record label. They're going to take that chance now because it's just streaming. These artists aren't getting paid anymore. So it's a crazy industry and they're just grasping at straws on how they can keep money in their pockets.
Yeah, I understand now.
It's a whole different world from 10 years ago. It really is.
And it's turned into where performance is where they make their money. They do shows all the time.
If you're an artist nowadays,
Jimmy Buffett's coming out of retirement.
you have to tour and you have to be selling merch to make money as a musician these days. Like if you're not doing that, then you're really dropping the ball.
Because I have a couple songs that I've written and I was like, maybe I should make a run at this. And it's just like, the money's not there. I don't know. They're funny songs. We'll talk about that. I have buddies with Coco Bridges.
Okay,
He's been on our other show. And
Yeah.
then he worked obviously with the well-known. And somebody you're DJing with tonight. I'm
Yeah.
like, who's the bigger name on the list tonight?
Yeah.
J.E. What's that
J.E.,
like?
man. Yeah, I've known Jay for...
And he's got more Grammys.
He's a
than
diamond selling producer, which is incredibly rare in the music industry to even go diamond. There's only a handful of albums that have done that. And Country Grammar is one of them. Absolute St. Louis classic, international classic. Changed the game out here for sure. And we're going to be doing Takashima Record Bar in the Grove tonight. It's an all vinyl spot. So me and him are bringing out crates and crates of old records. And we're just going to have a good time tonight. I've never DJ'd with him in this style. So it's going to be a good night, I think. Yeah.
Well, this will be a fun show to check out tonight, everybody. And,
for sure.
Boy, I tell you, we got DJ Mahf, we got J.E., the place to be.
Yeah.
I asked him, I said, I'm going to be at the Cardinal game. I've got what I have to do. That's part of my job, right? And I will be there. But you're going to go till 1 o'clock in the morning. So the Cardinal game will be over about 10:30.
Yeah, come on after man.
I will swing by. I've got my business partner going with me too.
There you go.
Right? And so I'll say, hey, Marlon, we need to go check this out.
Perfect.
And hang out with you guys for a little bit.
Nice.
All right. So, of all the people you've had the opportunity to meet, work with, interview, play with, who give us a sample of some of the big names. You say you're opening for? Are you opening for these big national acts?
Yeah. One of the biggest gigs I ever did. I was the official DJ for the Super Bowl through Bud Light for two Super Bowls. I did 2013 in New Orleans and 2014 in New York. And New Orleans,
wait, the Super Bowl, like the kids' championship Super Bowl. You're talking about
we're talking NFL, man.
NFL Super Bowl. You were the DJ.
Yeah, it was crazy.
I got in touch with this.
I went out there for like a full week, and Bud Light transformed this hotel on Convention Center Boulevard into the Bud Light Hotel. And they built a venue that was only there for a week that fit about 8,000 people. So every night leading up to the Sunday Super Bowl, I was opening up at that huge arena venue. And they wouldn't really tell me until the day of because all the performers are kind of surprises. So the first night they're like, hey man, you're opening up for, who was it? Pitbull and Flo Rida. I'm like, okay. I did a bunch of stuff that week. I got to do Stevie Wonder's after party down there, which was for me, that's next level, man. Like Motown was so huge in my house growing up. Like my mom and dad were big, soul and funk record collectors. And, for me, that was just such a crazy honor to even do that. And like he showed up at the party. Paul McCartney showed up, a bunch of people, there's celebrities wall to wall. It was pretty intense, man. And
you're hanging out.
I intentionally was like incorporating remixes I've done from all their catalogs. I did like a little block of Beatles remixes, and Paul was walking by with a ton of security guards. Right. And I remember he turned around and looked at me and pointed up to me in the DJ booth, and he just gave me the little nod, like, that's a cool little remix you're doing of the Beatles. Like, so yeah, it's pretty wild, man. But yeah, I've done a whole bunch of other stuff, just opening, national shows coming through here a lot, stuff at the pageant, Dunmore Hall, different places. Snoop was a big one that I did. That was crazy.
Is that the other night here?
No, that was a couple years ago. Okay. Yeah, that was over at Pops, actually.
Okay.
Whole different party over on the east side. You know that.
Oh, yeah. Well, I've heard about it. I don't know that I've ever been there.
Oh, wow. Okay. You got to change that, man. Yeah, recently.
Pops, I mean, it's a good venue, and they got a lot of great stuff.
Yeah, man.
So much fun you get to do. And just now I'm like, man, maybe I should have become a DJ.
Yeah.
You're living the life doing.
Yeah, it's been fun, man. I like being able to, the challenge of, getting these different gigs thrown at me where I'm like, man, I don't know if I'm a good fit for that. Like, for instance, I did the big NASCAR race that was here a month or two ago.
Yeah.
And it's the whole bill is Grammy-winning country acts for the most part. And I was kind of like, man, I don't know if I'm a good fit for this. But at the same time, like they reached out to me for a reason, so I'm going to do me. I want to uphold my brand and do what I do. And people loved it. It was a really good time, man. And that's like a whole other thing where I'm like, I never thought I'd DJ a NASCAR event. It's kind of crazy.
That's big scale too. That's a worldwide technology.
Yeah, the raceway over there. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Awesome stuff.
Yeah.
Let's dive in here. We're running. Time runs fast when you're having fun. But talk a little bit about the Earthworms. I've got them up on the wall over here. That's your longtime band?
One of my hip hop groups have been around. Our first album came out in 2005. You know, one of the MCs, one of the rappers in the group, my man Matthias. Matthias used to work with us at Riverfront Radio, the station we've been referencing. But we broke up around like 2010, 2011, and we actually reunited over COVID. And we just put out a new album end of last year. We pressed it on vinyl. It's been selling really well. We're playing the Music at the Intersection Festival coming up in September. That's Saturday. I believe it's September 9th. So we'll be on one of the main stages there doing a performance. And it's just beautiful being back with the guys again. I never thought that we would make another record, so it's kind of crazy.
I always thought it was really interesting name the Earthworms.
Yeah.
It's like you're getting into the...
We're underground.
Right? Yeah. Getting dirty. We're doing what we got to do.
We definitely don't make mainstream style music, but we got it, man. Like, we're good performers, and I think we put out solid, quality stuff that is a good alternative to what you hear on the radio. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, music is food for the soul, and it helps everybody to just kind of get along on this little planet.
Oh, for sure.
Talked about. The title keeps coming up because I programmed this. I'm going to put the camera on you so that it pops up.
Yeah.
Posse, my Posse in Effect. Talk about that.
Right. So my Posse in Effect was something. It's a Beastie Boys tribute show that we put together. We've been around for about 8 or 9 years now. In 2012, I started throwing a Beastie Boys tribute DJ show because one of the members of the Beastie Boys MCA passed away from cancer. And it's a pretty devastating loss for the hip hop community. And the Beastie Boys were just groundbreaking, obviously, and on a whole other level. But we did 2 years of just DJs, and I was like, man, maybe we should put a band together. Just try to do a couple of these songs with live instruments. And that just spitballed into now we're touring all over the country. We're doing casinos everywhere all over the country. We're doing big venues. We played Del Mar Hall out here a couple times a year and sell that out all the time. And it's a full-blown production. We have a big, giant movie theater screen that shows visuals from their entire catalog of music videos and photography. We have a ton of stage props, full band, me. It's like a huge party. It's pretty wild, man. It gets pretty crazy.
Well, we were talking about this. We do our pregame prep. Everybody talk a little bit about what we're going to chat about.
Sure.
And I knew he'd done a lot. DJ Mahf had done a ton of fun stuff. But when I was always a connection with Beastie Boys.
Sure. Yeah.
And when you said you did essentially a tribute to Beastie Boys, that's what it is.
Yeah.
Tribute to Beastie Boys.
Yeah.
I was like, that's got to be right, man. What's to go? It's time to go. It's time. No sleep. I can't sing anymore. We'll get in trouble with our
copyrights.
Who didn't love the Beastie Boys? Grow up with them. Tell me. I mean, kids are showing up at the Beastie Boys shows.
Yeah.
Their dad, who's dressed up like the
It's
Beastie
a weird
Boys.
full circle thing because they started licensing their music for the first time the last couple of years to movies and TV shows and stuff. You would never hear their stuff in commercials or anything before that, and now it's everywhere.
Yeah.
And there's a whole new crowd of people that are coming out, a younger generation that comes out, and a lot of them, you see parents bring their kids out, and they're dressing their kids up as little mini versions of the Beastie Boys at our shows, and they're on the railing at the front row getting down, and it's pretty crazy to watch, man. It's really cool. I mean, they're such a groundbreaking group, and they have. What I love about the Beastie Boys, one of the reasons I wanted to do a tribute show to them, is each album that they put out was very different from the last one. They, in the 90s, they got kind of into the alternative rock, grunge sound mixed with hip hop, mixed with funk and soul instrumentals because they started playing instruments again. So those records sound completely different from the first record with, No Sleep Till Brooklyn and all that stuff on it. So when we're playing it live, it's a cool show for us because it's just not one style, or aesthetic. It's a lot of different things. So we do costume changes to adapt to that and all that. And it's fun, man. It's a party.
Well, you told me the next upcoming date is November 6th. Coming up for that.
November 24th, Black Friday at Del Mar Hall. Come out and party with us.
I'm gonna put the
Black Friday,
November
baby.
24th, the day after Thanksgiving, the biggest day for everybody's in town for their family and all that. The 24th, November. Come up. I put it on my calendar. I'm going to be there. We're going to highlight this. We're going to push this out for everybody.
Awesome. Thank you.
A lot of fun stuff that you got there. Tell me then with that, Beastie Boys, obviously an influence.
Oh, huge.
Who are some of the other influences for you? Because it's not just the music, it's also the DJ.
Yeah, as far as DJs,
styles,
I grew up idolizing a lot of the guys that were using turntables as an instrument and really doing off the wall different stuff as far as sampling and blending and remixing records just in a way that like I've never heard. Like guys like DJ Z Trip was one of my mentors. He's kind of one of the dudes who was like the founding father of like the mashup movement, blending all these different genres together with hip hop kind of as a backbone. Guys like DJ Shadow, huge influence on me as a producer. You know, guys like Hubert. I could go on and on and on. I'm probably, but yeah, as far as the DJs go, a lot of the guys that were like hip hop scratch DJs were kind of my big influence for sure.
Some of the music that you've come to love, what would you say? Obviously, Beastie Boys.
Oof, man, yeah. I mean, even going back to the, you know, like James Brown and the Motown stuff and, you know, all that good 70s funk and soul. I love that stuff because that eventually became the backbone for, you know, the early hip hop records from sampling. They would take those drum loops and everything and build off of them. So those were kind of the blueprint, you know, for the beginnings, you know, the architecture of hip hop. But yeah, man, I listen to a little bit of everything, man. I love reggae. I love house music. I listen to all kinds of stuff. It just kind of, you know, I just try to stay on top of everything and deliver it to the people.
Well, I'm telling you, what you've done and what you've built, and there's so many people that dream of being a musician, somebody involved in the music world, as entertaining and putting a show on for people. And the DJ thing is going crazy.
It's wild.
There's national acts and big stuff, and it's just when you get to the level you're at and you can make a living at it. That's really exciting.
It's fun, man. Doesn't feel like work.
It's almost kind of like dream job.
Oh yeah,
it doesn't feel like work.
Yeah, it's a party every night. I'm not mad at
it. Well, I know sometimes I'll be texting you, I'll be like, oh, he's probably out late, or he's not up yet because it's 9 o'clock in the morning. And we were out.
He's late night, man. That is real. That's very real.
and part of what goes with it, and at any age, you're out there doing a great job influencing our little world, having a little bit of an impact. You talk to kids, you got people that follow you, and a lot of fun that goes along with that. And it just seems like you've just kind of got your own little planet that you get to live on and enjoy. Sure. And that's what all of us. So we're always just looking to highlight those people from all realms of life. Most of the people come on and talk in business. Well, I wanted to highlight a number of the musicians and artists who are the best in the area.
Yeah.
And somebody like yourself.
Oh,
I've got to have you on because you are so well known.
Appreciate it.
Do so much to just.
I'm going to have to bring the whole band in here next time.
Bring the vibe.
I was going to have like 8 dudes huddled up right here.
Well, we can do it. We can get the posse in effect in the building.
Yeah.
That would be a fun thing to do. We got some images. There's a lot of great stuff. You can see the DJ Mahf.
Yeah.
Check him out on Instagram. DJ MAHF.
Yep.
Right there on Instagram, Facebook. And check out all of what he's got going. Hire him, bring him in to do some of your big events because
hit me up.
He will make it worth your while. I can
appreciate that. Thank you.
And has a lot of fun with what he does in the community.
Thanks.
With that, tell us what do you love most about St. Louis? What do you think it brings it home for
just
you?
Just the camaraderie here, man. It's just a big family atmosphere. It's one of those things where I've been playing out here for almost over 2 decades now. It's just like every time I step out, there's friends in the house. I never feel like I'm alone. You know what I mean? And we just have an incredible art community here that I kind of feel like gets slept on a little bit. There's really amazing musicians. There's amazing painters, live artists, visual artists. Like it's nonstop. Plus our food is incredible. I'll put it up almost anywhere. Like what's not to love, man? You know,
great stuff.
Yeah.
More for you. Stay tuned. Get in touch with DJ Mahf. Lots of fun he brings to the party, everybody. We'll be back. This is your little castle show.
Yeah.